On the bill. For what purpose does Mr. Carter seek recognition?
Madam Chair, I seek recognition, offer an amendment to H.R. 5074, the Kidney Patient Act.
The clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R. 5074.
Without objection, the reading of the amendment is dispensed with. The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes in support of his amendment.
Madam Chair, I'd like to offer this bipartisan amendment that I'm leading with Representatives Custer, Carroll Miller, and Sewell. The Kidney Patient Act, which preserves patient access, choice, and coverage in phosphate management for patients with end-stage renal disease, is a must-pass policy. There are more than 1 in 7 adults, or about 35.5 million people, living with chronic kidney disease in the United States. Many of these patients have kidney failure and are on dialysis up to 3 days a week, often leaving fatigued. One of the biggest challenges patients with kidney failure experience is managing high levels of phosphate in their blood, which can heighten the risk for heart attack, stroke, or amputations if left untreated. The standard of care for high phosphate is medication, known as phosphate-lowering therapies, or PLTs. And these drugs must be taken outside of the dialysis setting, since they must be taken with food, and you are prohibited from eating in the dialysis setting. Patients and their prescribing physicians currently have access to these drugs, but that would change under CMS's plan to add phosphate-lowering therapies into Medicare Part B end-stage renal disease prospective payment system by 2025. Failing to act now will threaten kidney disease patients' access to life-saving medications and increase patient out-of-pocket costs for their dialysis treatments. Furthermore, once these drugs move to Part B, many patients will have a higher copay for certain binders that they currently have in Part D. According to the Congressional Budget Office, moving the phosphate-lowering drugs into the bundle will increase Medicare Part B premiums for all beneficiaries. I'm also aware that since this policy was put into place, a majority of patients have since elected Medicare Advantage and now have prescription drug coverage. Moving these drugs into the bundle is bad for the practice of nephrology. It's bad for patient care, and it increases costs to both the system and to Medicare patients. The Kidney Patient Act is common sense legislation that will ensure patients with severe kidney disease who are on dialysis can continue to receive quality health care. As amended, the Bipartisan Kidney Patient Act will delay this move until 2027, extending patients' ability to access oral-only drugs through Medicare Part D. This amendment will give us much-needed time to study patient impact, particularly those patients with end-stage renal disease who are newly enrolled in the Medicare Advantage program. It also has broad community support from more than 70 organizations, including the National Minority Quality Forum, representing patients, providers, and advocates in support of this bill. I'd also like to read a statement from a patient in Georgia who will be negatively impacted if CMS moves these oral-only phosphate-lowering therapies into the bundle. She says, and I quote, "Ensuring the passage of the Kidney Patient Act is crucial for safeguarding the well-being of dialysis patients," unquote. This amendment to the Kidney Patient Act passed the Ways and Means Committee with a vote of 41-1. Let me repeat that. 41 bipartisan members of the Ways and Means Committee voted in support of this amendment. I encourage my colleagues to support this amendment to the Kidney Patient Act and protect end-stage renal disease patients across the country. Thank you, Madam Chair, and I yield back.